Today, I'm going to show you how I created this masterboard, and I even cut it down into a tag, and I'll show you what I'm using it for.
Hi, I'm Christine, the artist behind Darlissa Designs, and I'm happy you're here. Welcome.
Hi everyone. Today, I'm going to do something kind of like what we've already done. There's a few of these, but I need to use up some of this stuff, and if you're like me and you hate throwing away Amazon packing paper, and I probably won't use too much of this, but I do want some tears in here, so I might tear some of this and put it on top of this. I'm going to use a lot of this today, and I might do a little something at the end. I have a couple of ideas to make this masterboard unique, but I'm going to use this Big Daddy because I left the glue on my other one, and it is all stiff and I have to soak it now. So I'm just going to go in, get a bunch of glue. Now this is one I already started on the last masterboard, and the second I started, I hated it. So as usual, I'm going to give it a little spray. So I'm behind on my backgrounds. So this is probably going to be a background for one of my 5x7 matted framed pieces. Now I'm not too concerned about getting all of this completely flat. In fact, if there's some wrinkles, that'd be cool. I'm not going to go for the wrinkles. So if it goes completely smooth, we'll go with that. And if it doesn't and it wrinkles, then that's what we'll do. But I'm going to do mostly this first. And then we'll add some book pages and some cool stuff. But I need to, and I was thinking about, I want to keep this one sort of neutral, maybe, almost vintage, because I'm working with the wildflower study, and I did get my second one started. Let me show you. This is the second set, so I'm really loving the background on these, and this one especially. I did something a little bit different. You'll have to watch the video so I don't make this one too long, but these will be sealed and uploaded by the end of the week to my website. So if you're interested in any of these, they'll be available soon. So anyway, so because I'm doing those, I wanted to keep this kind of neutral because I think it would be cool to do a 5x7, even though I have some of these canvases. I also want to do some of those matted 5x7s because those come out looking really cool, and you can pop them in a frame and yeah, if you want. Now the canvases, you can also get the frames for those. I'm not going to frame them because I think it's easier for you to pick your own frame, and also it's cheaper to ship, easier to ship, and maybe one day I'll get into the, now see, I didn't spray that one and I have wrinkles in it. That's the difference. Let me show you. So you see that one's all wrinkled and that one is just super smooth. But that's okay. I'm not going to stress about it. This is going to be a really easy masterboard and a great way to start out if you want to have a nice background for painting. This is good too because before I started doing a lot of painting on canvas, I didn't have a lot of money to buy canvases, or I mean, at least it wasn't in my budget, right? So I would just make little masterboards like this and paint over it. So this is a good cheap way to get a nice background going for playing around with paint and seeing what you like to do before you invest in the expensive canvases. So, and it makes for a really interesting, and I love these because as you can see, this book is old, and it's not that old, but it's old enough where the pages have browned and aged. So I love that. All right, now the smaller you make it, the longer it takes to do. I love these jagged edges, so I'm going to put one of these on top of this. Now I know that I've done these a million times. Not a million. And if I had a million of these videos, I might be making some money now. Being monetized. By the way, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I just started. I feel like I'm far enough in now that I can kind of make suggestions and talk about my experience. So I did start my personal channel under my name, Christine Rooks, Rooks. I will put the link in the description below. And it's a lot more than just art. There's a lot of art stuff on there. There'll be a lot of, because that's my life. But it's also about starting a YouTube channel. It's my experience working from home and trying to create this channel. So a lot of behind the scenes. So if you're interested in that, and if you, I don't know if I've mentioned, I'm sure I have mentioned this, that I like doing natural things. Like I like to try and go the herbal route before I go to the Western doctors. Eastern first, Western after. I'm not anti-doctor. I just like to try and change my diet and do healthy things to see if I can fix the issues I have before I go and get a prescription. I really love this, but it's going to end up being too thin. You know what? Here's a great way. I'm going to save that little handwritten note from the captain, and we're going to do, I'm going to put a fake corner in here. Let's just do it this way. And then I'll glue over it. Great idea, I think. We'll see. So I'm going to line this up here, and I'm going to line this edge up here. There you go. We've replaced the corner, and I've saved a really cool piece to add to a tag later. Now, of course, this is going to need a little bit more strength here. Probably, no, I'm not gluing it to it. I don't want to glue this to the table and then pull it up and then it rips. So I'll do a couple of layers on top of this to make sure it's nice and strong, since there's, oh, actually it's a lot. Here I am thinking it's this whole thing. It's only that corner right there. So I will add some more strength to that though. We'll do some here. So yeah, if you, I didn't want to start posting stuff like that on this channel because I know some of you are not interested in my personal life and what I'm doing off camera. Florida lifestyle, restaurants, you know, anything that is South Florida art, event, food. I love food. You know, if you're vegan and you're trying to be really good, I have found some little tips and tricks in ordering at restaurants and that kind of thing. So I just like to share my experience. Okay, that's that. Let me add some of this down here, and I'm going to put that in there because I think that's super cool. I'm going to put it, let's do it right here because I know I don't want to cover that up. We'll do it there. Or maybe right here. Now, I only have 27 subscribers there. So there's not a whole lot of content yet, but I'm committed. I have pulled out some of my old equipment. I used to do a lot of photography, and I really want to do some fun editing. Kind of Casey Neistat style. I love him. There's a couple more that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I've been binge watching editing videos and creating stories. So it's kind of bland right now, my channel, but watch me grow because I think it's going to be really fun. Plus, I'm going to share a lot of my tips on how to deal with POTS and autoimmune issues. Not complaining. I try not to complain, and you've seen on this channel that's a little hard for me to do sometimes, but I really want to kind of help some people that have no idea where to start, because I've been dealing with this for decades now. So maybe save you some time and feel better faster. What else? Boating, South Florida boating, South Florida travel. We get out of South Florida every now and then. So, fun stuff. Just another creative outlet for me. Let's see. So go on over and subscribe if you like that. I also share behind the scenes here, so I just went on and filmed getting ready for this video. So if you want to see how I set up and my almost like a day in the life. So that's that. Today I have so much to do because tomorrow I have to work outside of the house, tomorrow and Thursday. And I work in the house Wednesday, but I don't have a lot of time for art and YouTube stuff, so that's a bummer. So I'm going to try. Oh, I have been working on trying to figure out how to cut my stencils better, and I think I figured it out. So in the last video, there were lots of tabs, and they're very confusing as you're creating a stencil. I don't know how I didn't figure this out before, but I think I figured it out. So Thursday's video will probably be that video. So if you came here because you like my stencil video, which kind of is carrying my channel right now, check back on Thursday because I think I figured it out. Also, I ordered, and I don't know if they'll be here on Thursday or not, but I did order a thicker Mylar. So we'll see how that works. Now, the Mylar that I ordered is not clear. It's kind of, you could see through it, but it looks like it's a little cloudy. So I couldn't find the thicker, clear one. So I'm not sure if it was just because I was in a hurry to get my order in and I was really busy, so I need to go back and check. But I was like, you know what? I'm here now. Let me go ahead and order this. At least I can see how thick it is, and then we'll go from there. If I can find, it may work, and I don't have to have the completely clear one. Hopefully you'll be able to see through it well. No, I didn't spray that one either. I don't know if that's going to work. So, okay, so when I'm done with this, I'm almost done covering this. I'm going to, let me put some of these in here. This is super cool because it's got edges here. And I don't mind a little bit of glue and texture here. Let's see. This is kind of boring, so let's put it here. Oh, and I'm also going to put my Redbubble down in the description below, because those, if you don't want the originals, but you want maybe a coffee cup or something, I did put that stuff on Redbubble, the wildflower study that I just did. So I got 2 of them up last night. Takes a while because you got to edit it a little bit. So I'll try and do more of those and get them all listed. And then whatever really sells, whatever you guys really like, I can put on a higher quality service. Like the t-shirts are better through Printful and Printify, which is another thing I got to do a video on. So when you create these things, you can take photos of them and edit them. I'm sure a lot of you know. But if you don't, another way to make a few dollars. And it's not easy. It's a long game. You just start uploading. And over the years, I've improved. And so many times I've gone back and just deleted everything and started over. But you can take photos and just edit it a little bit. And there's a learning curve. You gotta learn, the sizes of files and stuff like that. And I'm not an expert on that. I kind of fumble around on it every single time. This is a little bit too much of a chunk of glue on there. So, okay. Well, it is what it is. I think I'm going to take this off because it's too little. All right. But yeah, anyway, there's that too. Not to sell. I don't want to be a hard salesperson, but I am trying to create a living here. So just your support I'm so grateful for it. But, just your support from being here and watching my videos is enough for me. But for those of you who like some of this stuff, or you see a particular piece that I create and you like it and want to support financially, then that stuff will be available. It's super fun. I love uploading my stuff to Redbubble or even on my regular site. I used to have a lot of stuff on my website, but again, I deleted everything and started over, and that's what I'm in the process of doing now. But there are lots of ways if you want to retire and make your art. Like I said, it is a long game, but if you get started and just learn as you go, you'll get there. I'm getting close to being able to do this without leaving and going to work outside of the house 2-3 days a week. I want to do this full time because it's what I love to do. So it could be done. And hopefully, if that's what you want to do, I can save you some time by following my journey. I think I'll show a little bit of, no, because there's too much white over there. Okay. All right. Let me check for, I see one little spot up here. I kind of like using this big wide brush. That was very nice. Okay, you know what? I have some smaller writing here. I'm just going to add a few pieces in because they're different. Let me spray this because this is thicker paper. And speaking of thicker paper, I might, I want to put a little bit here. I'm going to add the corner here because it'll go very nicely there. Let me put this down. This is funny. So this budget sheet right here, I have like 5 books of budget, the books that you get at Office Depot to track your budget. I have 5 of them, and all 5 of them have the first page filled out because I'm really bad about my budget. I mean, I don't really spend any money at all, hardly. I'm good at not spending money. I like to spend money, but whenever I feel like I need a hit of dopamine, instead of going on Amazon now, I just come in my art room, which saves a ton of money. So there's that. There's a great way to save money. Start doing art. Okay, so I think this is really cool. I'm going to come back and cover part of this up and take it one more step further. Okay, I have an idea for making this one unique. I'm just going to go over this a little bit. I'm not going to cover the whole thing with gesso. And I saw something on one of my friend's videos Jessica. I will put her handle to her TikTok channel. I'm not sure what else she has, but I'll at least put that. And I've done it before, but I had forgotten about it. And she wrote with a pencil, like a soft graphite. I'm not sure exactly what she used. I have the Prismacolor pencils that are watercolor. What are they? I'm having a hard time with words today again, just because I have so many things to do and I've got so many things on my mind. I don't think it's a brain fog thing today. I think I'm just a bit overwhelmed. My washing machine was broken, so in between all of this, I'm doing about 15 loads of laundry. But anyway, so if you add water to this pencil, it will smear. So I think I would like to write on this, and I think that'll make a cool background. So you can see you can still see everything underneath, but it's giving me a much lighter background. And I think that the gesso is going to give the pencil a better base to grab onto. So I think that's going to turn out to be really cool. I wasn't sure. It's really hard to come up with different ideas for masterboards every week, but I decided I'm going to keep the series for now because it really forces me to think outside the box. Like, I have to come up with something different so you guys aren't watching the same board over and over again. And if you start to get bored with those videos, let me know. I will move on to another series and then possibly come back in the future or do one from time to time. But for right now, this is just a great way for me to make backgrounds for the things that I already need to make. And it really makes me think every Monday. It gets my brain going. So, okay, I'm going to go. Well, I think I might want a little bit more in a couple of areas. And that's about it. Really wanted a little more of this brown showing there. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. And I'm going to let this dry. And I'm going to go fold a couple of loads of laundry. And then I will come back and we will write on top of this. Okay, these are Prismacolor water-soluble colored pencils. I love these. And I'm going to use the dark-umber because I couldn't find my black. And I think dark-umber would go best with this anyway. And I've got a silly little poem here that doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm just going to I have terrible handwriting anyway, but you'll see in a minute it won't matter. So I'm just going to write across here. You see, sometimes it's not so easy. Let me zoom out a bit. Amber light. Across a sea of green and red. It's just about, since we're in wildflowers. So I'm going to go write this out and then I'll come back and show you what's going to happen next. Okay, so I got all of it done except for the last little lines, and I sharpened my pencil, and I'm just going to go in and do it across the bottom small so that if any of this ends up as a background, you'll be able to see it. Or what am I trying to say? If this won't be blank. How about that? No formal line. Just, and I'm going to go back up here. Freedom in the summer breeze. And I'll put this little poem. I just talked into Gemini and told it what I wanted to put in the, whoops. It does not matter if you misspell something, or it's really, nobody's going to really see this. But I always like to put nice things in there. Beautiful design of dancing stems and emerald trees. Here, let's, beautiful designs of dancing stems and emerald. Let's put trees in here. Okay, there we go. We have this. Now what I'm going to do is take a little brush, and I'm going to take my, here's a good kind of stiff brush, and I'm going to take my sprayer and I'm going to mist it. And you see how it's already spreading out? Now I like that, but you can also go in and kind of spread this out a little bit in some areas so that you can kind of see the words, but not really. You can also, if you wet it enough, you could do like this, and then you'll end up with little drips and runs. And if you want more, you can use these pencils on wet paper and just kind of darken that up a little bit. So there you go. And just play around with it until you're happy with it. You can get it quite wet, especially if your Masterboard is on a like a watercolor paper, which of course you know this is not. You see it'll run along those letters too. So I think this is going to be a cool background. You can still see some of the stuff. I don't want to see all these words here. You can find words that you love, like bees, scarlet, trees, whatever. You can leave those. And the ones that you don't really care about with it. So you can highlight some and cover some up so that you can't really see what it says. If you have a favorite poem and you're doing this for your journal, this is a great way to get that poem in the background, or quotes. So summer breeze, I kind of like that. I'm going to leave that. I want it a little bit spread out, so I'm going to let the water do its thing. And you can still see the writing and that stuff in the background, which is what I love. I messed this up, so see what I mean? If you have terrible handwriting, or you misspell a word, or you get something, this is a great way to just kind of take that stuff out. So there you have it. That's today's Masterboard Monday. I love it. I think it's going to dry up nicely. I'll come back and show you a little clip. Here, I'll let this dry and I'll come back before I close out this video. So it's all dry now, and I decided that I'm gonna cut a couple of tags. So for today, and this is not straight, I have no straight edges here, so I'm just gonna straighten this off here and go from here. So I'm gonna just measure. This will be about 2.5 inches. So I'm going to cut these in 2.5 inch strips. And then, so 5 and, what is that? 3/4? Yeah. So I'll get probably, let's see, I'll get 2 tags and a little extra out of these. So let's do, okay, again, I gotta come around this way. 2.5. Now I've got a straight edge. And I will trim this. And I'm going to do 5 and 3/4 here. And then all I do is take this little template, okay, and somehow I got it a little bit bigger. Ooh, it's thundering. So I'm going to try and line this up the best I can from the top. I see why. Okay, it's not 100% straight, so I'm going to straighten it. This is the straight side. I'm just going to trim it with my scissors because that's easier. Bob just went outside he just got home and just went outside to mow the grass. And it is thundering outside. Yeah, I really thought that some tags like this would be cool. So that will be the background for a tag. Now I have to go in and seal this because this will still shift if I get it wet. So I'm going to go through and I think I'm going to lay these out and spray them with a sealer or fixative outside, not while it's thundering and raining. So that'll be for another day. But I think these will be cool. And then I want to get a couple of these. I was thinking maybe just 2 for my matted prints. Let me show you one of those in case you haven't seen one. Okay, not matted prints, matted originals. So this is what I will use this for. So I go in and collage and then cut it down to size. And these are, each has a story. And then I go in and I do the painting on top of the collage background. So this will be behind something like this. So there you go. That's Masterboard Monday for today. I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll be back next week with another one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Hope you have a very crafty and creative week. And I will see you hopefully on Thursday. Thanks for watching.